If you're smaller in the smaller weight classes, make sure you don't hug in tight, okay? Very easy for them to bump you. If you're smaller, please catch outwards because you need a post. So if he tries to bridge, I can post off that, okay? Other thing, hand goes around the head, cup the armpit, and the most important thing is you turn his face to the side and you don't lean forward. He's gonna push you off. Instead, you're gonna pull his head into your shoulder, okay? So it's not about driving forward, it's about pulling him into you and keeping his hand wide. I don't like cupping it too early, especially if you're smaller. I like to keep it underneath the elbow at 45-degree angle as I turn his face to the side. As you're doing this, don't forget you have legs. You're also gonna straighten your grapevine and turn his face. It should be very uncomfortable for your partner, okay? All right, on 3, you're gonna grapevine, underhook, pull the head in. Just review from Tuesday. If you weren't here on Tuesday, your partner, just try to catch them up, okay? On 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna start climbing this. So what's gonna occur here is he's gonna be trying to fight this elbow down, or he's gonna swim. Yes, to get it back in. What we're gonna do is anytime I feel him about to inch it in, I just cup it. But you see how I keep my hand wide? Again, as a smaller person, when I used to do this, he would bridge and I'd fall over, okay? So keep it wide, and I'm gonna start using the floor to climb. I'm gonna keep grapevining and turning his face. So many people focus on his arm, they forget to put the rest of the pressure on their partner. You're gonna drive into his face, pull him in, don't drive forward, you're gonna fall over, grapevine, and keep walking. Then he's gonna try to fight. Good, I'm gonna keep climbing, and once I break this 45-degree angle, I'm gonna attach it to his head. Okay? Now I'm gonna continue to drive this shoulder pressure into his face and grapevining him. And I'm just gonna hug him here for a little bit, okay? And then just, your partner should tell you how uncomfortable it is. If it's comfortable, you need to put more pressure, and then your partner should give you feedback, and then we'll switch, okay? So one more time, we're here. My partner's actively gonna try to get his underhook back, or he's gonna try to free or bridge me. Good. So if I forget to put pressure on his face, or I forget to grapevine hard, he's gonna sweep me. Okay? So I want the person on the bottom to actually try, so the person on the top gets live resistance. Next, we're gonna climb. Keep this hand wide so you have base. Climb, climb. Partner should be actively trying. Climb, and once it breaks 45-degree, I cup the top of the head, and I maintain position. Okay? And then we'll switch. On 3, 1, 2, 3. They're gonna start freaking out here. Okay? There's 2 reactions that we want. The first one is for them to give us their back. So when I'm here, and I start doing this, yes. He's gonna do this so that he can tuck his elbow in close. Very common reaction. Alright? So go back. So as I'm doing this and he's figuring out he's gonna turn to his side, what I'm gonna do is I can't get that full underhook anymore. So instead I'm gonna get a shallow grip on his elbow, and I'm gonna switch to combat base. The most important thing is I put my heel into the crevice of his hip. And I keep this. This is very important. If I don't get this, he's gonna go full turtle, okay? Or he's gonna hip escape out. So here I get this shallow grip underneath the elbow, and I tuck my heel by his hip, right? This will slow him down, and I can look for a gift wrap and a wrist pin. So we're here. I've started the full sequence where I'm getting my partner's elbow up, and he bridges to the side. I can't get the deep underhook, so I cup. Now Danny's actually tucked his elbow so far that I'm gonna grab the next joint over, which is gonna be the wrist. I'm gonna grab the wrist and hide my heel on the crevice of his hip. Okay? Now this will buy me time to start climbing to the back or getting the gift wrap and a wrist pin. So I need to grab him on one of his joints to slow him from rotating, and I'm gonna hide this so he can't get his knee in between us, okay? So everyone, I want you to, on bottom, to turn and give your back. Person on top, don't let them go to turtle by cupping their elbow or their wrist, and then tucking your heel by their hip, okay? On 3, 1, 2, yeah. We're here, go slow down. Okay, we're gonna go, wait. We're gonna go for our original attack where we climb the elbow up. My partner doesn't like this, he's gonna bridge so he can tuck his elbow down. If he tucks his elbow too deep, I grab the wrist. If his elbow is still a little bit open, I grab the elbow. This first one stops him from turning. The second thing is that even though he stopped turning, he can always bring his knee in. So go back. So I tuck. So there's going to be 2 steps here. first step is grab a joint on his arm. Second step is clip your heel to his hip, okay? So 2 steps. One, when he turns to his side, grab a joint on his arm to stop his spin, and in step 2, heel to the hip, okay? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. So next up, when they give you the back, we're gonna go something for the gift wrap. This is probably the best, I believe it's the best restraining position whenever there's 2 humans involved, okay? If there's more people involved, obviously you don't wanna do this. But if it's one-on-one and you don't wanna hurt the person, when they do this, I hold, usually when you mount someone and they freak out and they give you their back, this is really good self-defense. They turn to their back, you stop them from turtling all the way, because if they stand up, they're very athletic, so we keep them down. We get the opposite wrist, and then we get the opposite wrist. This is called a gift wrap. We're gonna stiff arm this. Don't keep this bent. We're gonna stiff arm this so it pins to the ground, and we're gonna pull this in. My partner is gonna try to hit me, strike me, bite me, and it's actually very difficult for him to do anything from here. So if you ever need to restrain someone safely without needing to hit them, the gift wrap with the wrist pin is probably the best position. Other thing is I don't want to actually sit on him because then he can actually lift me and move my weight around. And when I post this, I lose the gift wrap. So when I have the gift wrap, I'm actually going to stay in combat base, okay? But you cannot open this up for him to get his knee in. So you're going to clip the hip, get a gift wrap and a wrist pin on the floor with a stiff arm, okay? And you just hold your partner here for as long as possible. I want the person on the bottom to actually try to get out. It's actually very difficult, regardless of size, okay? On 3, 1, 2, 3. Switch off to a gift wrap. Alright, one thing I've noticed with everyone is when you're on the side, you have this stiff arm, but you're not putting weight onto it. So if I just push, Danny doesn't actually feel like I'm controlling the arm. Whenever you're pinning someone from any position, not only do I put it to the ground, look, if I just put it to the ground, he's going to swivel it and get it back, right? Instead, I want to stiff arm and drop my weight onto it. It doesn't look like anything from far away, you have to feel it. But when I grab something and I want to pin to the floor, I'm actually going to lean my weight into it. It should feel way different. If I'm just holding it with my arm straight, see, he can move it. If I pin it to the floor, all this friction makes it very difficult for him to move around, okay? So I want you to pin it with your weight, okay? It looks invisible, but I need you to shift your weight so all your weight goes into this wrist. All right? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Position. When they get to their back, they shouldn't be able to build up and start building up. Yes, this shouldn't happen. If we're here from this gift wrap position, if my pressure is good, if my partner turtles, start turning slow, okay, he shouldn't be able to close his knees and elbows as long as this wrist is pinned. If this pressure isn't good, the knee and elbow connect. So instead, go back. I'm going to pin it, and as he comes up, I'm going to get both hooks. Now here's the important part. When I get both hooks from here, I'm going to flatten him out. So I'm going to get both hooks in. I want one long hook and one short hook. Do not try to climb up and get equal hooks. This is the biggest issue when I see people fall off. They try to get equal hooks, and my partner starts building hip height, and then you start falling off. Go back. Whenever you're getting someone from turtle and they're turning over, one long hook, that means I sprawl on one hip. You know that stupid warm-up we make you guys do with the lizard walk? This is the time for that, okay? So the first time we finally get to use that warm up, okay? We're here, my partner turtles, and as he does it, I get this hook in, but I don't keep equal hooks. I sprawl this back leg. One short hook, one long hook. This will fix a lot of your problems when you have someone's back, okay? And then you're gonna drive your hip into them. Danny, now try to keep building base. A lot harder, okay? Now I can go underneath his arm if I want, get a half Nelson and start pulling him back down. But look how much worse this is. But watch, I get both hooks. As I get both hooks, he's gonna build up with me. Yes, I hate this. Go down. But if I have one long hook, one short hook, try stand up, Danny. Much harder. And there's a big size difference here too, okay? So one long hook, one short hook. We'll stop here. We'll worry about finishing later. As my partner turns, I keep this open. I slide it in, but I don't stay on top. I get one long hook, one short hook, and I sprawl like the lizard walk, okay? On three. 1, 2, 3. If you're the person on bottom, oh, that's real. In. Just a heads up. If your partner decides to lay, this only works to get a hook. If my partner decides to go belly down flat, this is the worst possible position, okay? MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, I've seen this happen in kids class sometimes. They grab the neck of an ankle person and the kids are screaming, okay? Don't ever lay flat like this. So the first time I want you to build a turtle, that's when you slide one hook in, okay? So if you're on the bottom, don't lay flat out, okay? Just make that not a habit. Alright, we'll wrap up there. We'll continue this next week. And then I'll show you all the defenses to it, okay? Alright, let's turn line up. Alright, let's real bow, sit, hold, shake hands, and then open. That's blood drain. 1, 2, 3.